Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for February the 5th through the 11th, 2018. So let's just take a moment to take a deep breath and to just clear your mind and just allow your heart to open like a beautiful flower. Just see it as many rose petals just opening, representing your heart, and at the core, this beautiful white light. You just feel it expanding, and as you feel the power of your inner being, your inner light, your inner strength, opening up and filling the space where you are. Just feel your spiritual power and strength and allow yourself to receive all the love that your Creator sends to you. Just becoming aware of this great communication in which you are always communing with God. And also allow that sense of that light to flow down through your body, through your feet, sending that energy down into the earth. And letting it just go in all directions. See yourself just filling up with light, becoming this great beacon of hope and the realization of all of your dreams, free in this love that is there for you always, filled with opportunities, and that is always backed by divine clarity, insights, and creativity, solutions, these messages that you are receiving, impulses, instincts that are guiding you, that are coming from the higher stratospheres of love, so that you may have peace and independence. So, as I tune in to this week's vibration for you, what's coming through is a sense of needing security. And self-care is also coming up. So the thing that's really important is that this need or feeling that having this need for security is an indication where you may need to shore up your support of self through self-care. So what they were showing me as I was starting is a sort of a mailbox, and it just seemed like petals were falling out of the mailbox. And then they were showing me a naked person from behind. So when I see that, that means represents a naked behind or a naked person being. It means that you're feeling sort of exposed. And so there's a lot of activity right now coming through. And those rose petals, I would also indicate to me not just messages, but messages for you to specifically sort of to cleanse, to purify, to clear out the sort of the negative vibrations or negative experiences, negative environments that you are sort of processing or interacting with, that you want to sort of take care of yourself and don't put anything else or let anything else sort of take you or draw you out into some position where you aren't comfortable. Okay, so it's very important for you to be aware of this. And then I'm getting another sense about, or they're showing me the angel number 5, which is representing huge changes in your life. And they're showing me that you're feeling very vulnerable, as if, you have no idea, the idea that you have no idea what's coming next. And this makes you feel like you don't have control, and that you are, the more that you seek for security through this perspective of fear, the more that you sort of agitate, if you will, or increase the level of insecurity that you're experiencing. So, and they're giving me the sense that all of this is just really triggering right now for you. A lot of emotions, a lot of things are being triggered. You're seeing a lot of things sort of playing themselves out. Things that, you know, just seems like it just all of a sudden somebody went in the attic and and found this stuff and brought it out, and you're like, whoa, I don't want that here. And so you're having a hard time coping because of this, because of these experiences. Don't put your attention to these things. Watch them. To show me sort of a movie theater. What you need to do right now is that you need to sort of pay attention to the bigger picture here. You need to just observe them as though you were watching a movie. That it's no longer your story, but it's a story that has been told. And for some reason, it's playing. But the thing is that just because it's playing doesn't mean that you are reliving it. So there's a difference when you feel like something is playing from the past and actually taking it personal, or personalizing it to the point where you fear you're reliving it. You're not reliving it. You're safe. But there is possibly something that you need to watch in this old film, if you will. A very important pattern, or that you may learn something from. It's not there to dredge up any kind of blame, or old wounds and painful circumstances. It's just there for clarification. Okay, and if you don't react and get all attached to it, and feel get in that mode of I'm reliving this, you'll see the lesson and you'll be really grateful, and you'll let it pass. Okay, so don't lose focus of where you are on this road in your life right now. Don't lose focus of where you are just because the past crosses your path. And note, crosses your path. Then also note, let it cross. Keep crossing. Don't go, wait. What are you doing there? Don't I remember you? No, just let it go. Okay? Just let it cross by, and let whatever, trust that. And don't even try to dive into it or dig into it, try to figure out anything about it. Don't try to analyze it. Don't try to self-diagnose. All right? Plain and simple. Don't try to self-diagnose. Let it's triggering something. It'll trigger the lesson for you. You just bless it, and tell your guides and your angels to take from it what you need to understand in order to continue even more powerfully on that path that you're walking right now, to enable you, and trust that it's enabling you to move on this journey with greater clarity, with greater truth, and to also allow, so that you can put that behind you, to allow greater rewards are showing me. That's the only prayer you need to, when something like this comes up, just pray for those things. Okay? To pray for clarity and trust that it will come and that you don't have to figure it out. Let your guides give it to you in the way that your higher self has processed it and presents it to you. Don't try to get anything through your ego. That is to say, when you're feeling fearful or anxiety or stressed or confused, don't search for the answers through ego, because ego is always going to break it down and make it look really, hopeless. So wait, ask, speak directly to your higher self and your angels and say, take this, break it down for me, and give it to me as a lesson of light. I trust you, I leave it alone, and I wait accordingly. Okay? Great wisdom and advice here from the angels about this. So just trust me on this. This works far better. And what you're doing is that you are putting in a very healthy practice where you recognize that when you react to something in fear, that you're not in that right space to receive it, and that you need those higher dimensions of understanding to interpret this for you and to bring it to you in a way that it's cleansed. Some sort of been drawn back to that mailbox with the roses. So this may be another way that we cleanse or clear our environment, our frequency, by not trying to it's almost like this feeling like, you see this something on the ground, and let's say it's in your home, because if you were like my mother, she didn't like, things that weren't supposed to be there, and especially in particular. And so, she could pick it up and then, what is this? And so don't do that. Don't do that. Good. Just, toss it, basically. Look at it and toss it. Toss it to your angels. Let them figure it out. Let them figure out where it needs to go and how it needs to fit into the plan that's helping you to stay in that path, on that path that you're on, that path of prosperity and success, or goals and dreams. I mean, all the same, right? So let them do that and bring it back to you. Let them cleanse it and bring it back as a high vibrational message for you. So in this week, don't try to make things happen in a moment, and you'll know, because it'll just like jolt you. It'll just like, oh, what is this? And the thing is, then you think all of a sudden you walk in your path, and then you're like, what is this? And then what do you do with that? What is this? You want to know where it came from. You want to know who did it. You want to know why this is happening. You want to know, and then you go into self-diagnosing. Well, I wonder what's going on with me right now in my life, and what this must mean, and blah 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 blah. We have to stop doing this. We need to give it over to the angels and your guides, your higher self. Let it be purified and clarified, and then you receive it at this higher frequency. So the thing is that they wrote out the word fourth dimension in front of me. And I've been having a lot of experiences in the last week in terms of new guidance. And they were sort of enlightening me about how we live in various experiences which are like dimensions. So like third dimension is where we're talking about right now, getting stuck, fixating on something, always we're repeating patterns and things like this, and we feel trapped and we can't see other choices. Whereas the fourth dimension is where you get, all of a sudden you start to see, it's the dimension of enlightenment. Let's put it this way first. And so this is where you begin to start to see other possibilities. It's like there's other things on your radar that just wasn't there before. And it's like sort of lifting your head above the surface of the water. They're writing out the word integrity in front of me. So here is where the possibilities begin to exist on the level of your spiritual or your soul's integrity. And fifth dimension would be when you start to um, make choice, have sort of act on those choices that are available to you now, and you're starting to work with those choices and integrate those choices. So right now, this is sort of for those of you who feel like sort of stuck and that you're always spinning something, or something's always spinning, or what's that? It's like a tail. I can't think of the right phrase, but something just kind of always keeps coming back and sort of whipping around and hitting you from and you're behind. This would be the practice to begin to get you out of that three-dimensional experience, where you begin to step into that place of enlightenment. And that is where you have to trust that if you, what keeps this three-dimensional going for you is not, it's your reaction to the things that are given to you in any given moment. It's your reaction that keeps you stuck in it. It's not about the experience that you're seeing, the illusion of struggle, fear. I mean, yeah, you're living it and it feels real. But the thing is that these dimensions represent a state of consciousness. And so at that state of consciousness, yes, it's real. But the fourth dimension state of consciousness, it's no longer valid or as real, because now you start to see other possibilities. You are experiencing enlightenment. You're rising above it. You're seeing a grander scheme, if you will. You're seeing the bigger picture. And so now, in that, and this is what this process is trying to show you how to get there. When you allow yourself to get there, to have that breakthrough, now you don't see what those experiences as being totally fixed, which means if they're not fixed, they can be altered, and now you can have a new experience. And we've all had these kinds of experiences. Second dimension, if I'm going to would be like self-criticism. They were showing me teeth. So where we just overanalyze and we, sort of a lot, judgment, if I remember this correctly. And the first dimension, I think, was like being stuck in guilt, but I'm probably not explaining this well as I could right now, but you get the idea. So right now, just don't, something cross your path, let it cross, and this is the tool to help you begin to embrace the changes through enlightenment. Give it to the angels, pray for clarity, and let it be purified and come back to you at this high vibrational frequency, which means continue going on about your business. Don't worry about it, because the universe is working on it, and it's going to present it to you in a way that will free you. So that's what you're wanting, just to experience, to be freed. And so they're writing it's something you're trying to express right now, and you're feeling a little blocked, or you're feeling restricted, or you're feeling like you can't express yourself because of something that you're feeling like you don't want to be exposed. So this thing may come across your path to sort of jolt that whole thing and kind of show you something differently. But if you attach yourself to it, let it come back to you. This is going to open you up to help you to really prosper. Okay? So what they're saying right now, pray, pray, pray. Okay? But pray without fear. Pray, what I mean, don't pray as if you think you're not worthy, because sometimes we don't really hear ourselves. Like we're talking, we're saying, oh God, please, please, please. But we don't hear, meaning we're not listening to the vibration of what we're offering. It's like that kind of is filled with so much doubt and questioning and hopelessness that the only thing that you're going to be able to hear through that is those things. So that any information that comes to you is going to come interpreted through those things. So you have to just let go of having to know in that very moment and let it just come. Let it come. Feel that sort of freedom that just sort of is this there from just saying it that way, the way I said it. So you have to pay attention. It's like just let it come. It'll come when it has to come. I'll know what I need when I need to know. But I do have something that I'm focused upon right now. And you know what you're supposed to be doing with that. So that's where you get right back on that road. That's what get back on that road is. Whatever you know that you knew in that moment before you were interrupted, that's where you're supposed to be. Not with that thing that crossed you. Okay? All right. So, I don't know why I just saw the word company, but if you work in an environment like corporate environment or for some company, just be aware. Don't let things in your work environment um, come up. Let them cross. Let them keep crossing. If you're going somewhere and you're doing something, all of a sudden somebody said something to you to like really, frustrate you or um, to just, sort of suck all the joy out of them. They don't have the power to do that. Let it keep moving. Don't care right now why they do that to you, or why did he say that to me? Don't care in the moment. Toss that to the angels. Let them bring it back to you. Let them show you, but don't you try to self-diagnose. Let it come to you. Because you'll get higher vibrational information when you try to do it from that place. It's going to all come filtered through that. It's going to all be interpreted through that filter. Do you understand why you must let go? Why you're not in that healthiest place to really help yourself? Okay, so let it go and then let it come to you. Now let's take a look at the card for the theme of the week from the Archangels. Spread your wings, Archangel Ariel. Okay, so it says don't hold back right now. The timing is perfect. You are ready to soar. And I get a feeling that these things that could cross your path this week are things that you're attracting to yourself because you have some fears about stepping out, about expressing yourself, about expanding and in certain areas of your life. They're showing me the magician again, like from the Marseille tarot deck, with the table in front and all the little things. And, he's got all of these. You have this sense that any trick, he can do it, right? He's got a whole bag of tricks. He's got all his tools on the table. He's ready to entertain. He's ready to engage. And so you are ready. You're ready to put yourself out there, whatever that is in terms of self-expression, or whether it's a product or a creative project. You're ready to do this. There's a confidence about this magician here. He's trained and studied and he's like well seasoned. He understands his craft, and so do you. And so don't let in this week little things, because you have this little doubt, little fear inside. So we're going to kind of give you the sort of the key to the test a little bit. And what's happening is those little doubts and things, yeah, they create things. And so you may draw onto your path some past experiences or emotional experiences because you're looking for an excuse. Your ego is looking for an excuse, and they're writing that out now, to I hate to put it this way, but to quit, or to put this off. Not no, yeah, it's not the right time. Yeah. Let me let me wait a little bit longer. Well, you're going to keep doing that and longer is going to get longer. So, no, not going to let you do that. So we gave you the key to the test a little bit, but you made up your own test. So I can't tell you specifically what this test is going to look like, but I'm giving you ideas about the test that you're creating through fear. Because when we say we're being tested, this is not coming from the divine. The divine doesn't test anything because the divine knows everything. Huh. How amazing, right? So the tests come from us, from our ego, who it's like the test is um, you give to yourself to see how worthy you are of something. Are you ready for something? Do you deserve this? But you have to stop asking those questions inside of yourself, and the test will stop showing up. The ego teaches through limitations and strife and fear. And that's why the universe doesn't test, doesn't do that. The universe offers opportunities. And you're so used to a test coming that you're scared to go for the opportunity, but you're the one who creates the tests. You're the one who puts them on your path because you doubt and you fear. And it's human to do so. But what you have to do is put that fear, give it, ask for it to be clarified, to be cleansed, and received back to you in some form of prosperity is the word I'm seeing that they're right out in front of me. Okay? So do this for yourself this week. You don't need to take tests anymore. So relinquish your fears, although you're going to have them, but just let them cross your path. How about that? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, so let's take a look at the first card for the beginning of the week and see what's going on here. All right, so we have this. When we see this knight, the knight of air, knight of swords, he's always like in this, intense, um, intense movement. He almost. This one looks very nice, but in the traditional right away, he looks like he's a little insane, right? But in the way that he's moving forward on his mission. So the thing is that this is about communicating, and as the air suits and swords is about communication or perspective. How you're seeing things, the intellect, and I'm getting about this card that it's something about the speed at which things are unfolding, and that you really have to be just ready to make decisions. You have to make those decisions quickly, and you just have to know what makes you happy. If you know you're happy with what you're doing, then don't use any other excuse to put it in your path. Don't even let an argument. Because this knight is somebody too that he could be argumentative, um, because he's so focused, and he's going to speak up, and he's not going to necessarily um, take the time to make sure he's sort of making everybody else in the room feel happy and safe. So don't be afraid to make the decision, to make the choices that make you happy. Okay? And so you're going to have to make some really quick decisions, and it's going to I feel like that's going to feel like you're going to feel like that you're being impulsive, or you're rushing. But the thing is that it's sort of like I get this feeling like it's helping you to get to the point, because it feels like you've just been laboring the point. You overanalyze it, which could be like the downside of this. You're just overanalyzing and nitpicking at every little thing, and you're just talking yourself out of it, or you're letting other people talk you out of it. And you really need to stay focused on your mission, as any knight would represent. Okay, and you need to be fearless like this knight, and not be afraid to speak your truth, to and speaking your truth or honoring your truth really just means that you are following your heart. You trust what your heart is excited about, and where your heart feels full and open, and you're just going for that. Okay, you're making those decisions that make sense to the heart. I know this is sort of sounds like a knight of cups, but it 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 just feels what needs to happen here. Okay, that there's important things that you need to take action on, that you can think them through, but the thing is that you're gonna have to do it, and it sounds like you've been given this small window of time to do it, and the only way to figure that out is to know what you're passionate about, you know, and don't worry about what others are saying or thinking. Okay, all right. Let's see. The next card that's coming up is the Eight of Earth. All right. And so for the middle of the week, but sometimes this energies, all of these cards are flowing throughout the week. So be aware of that as well. When nothing is in the universe is cut across like this, like categorized or cookie cutter like this. So just be aware. But there's this time of where you're learning. So we were talking about this, right? So and being aware of how you're communicating. So maybe one of the things with the night, and how you're processing information in this week. Maybe these two cards together. So be aware of how you're processing information. Stay focused on what your priorities are, what's important to you, where you feel you need to focus, as if there's something that you're trying to, not just your spiritual lessons, but there's something that your material goals or objectives that you're focusing on, and you're um, maybe you're doing some research about something, and so trust your instincts. You're smart. You know what you're looking for. You know how to communicate this information. So you're maybe brushing up, but don't fear. You know what you're communicating. So, but you're just brushing up on that information, but trust yourself that you can go forward and present that, whatever that is. All right, let me just kind of tune in and see what other information I'm getting about this card. I feel like I'm sitting on the floor in a board room, and I'm sort of watching sort of the backs of some of the key players at the table, and seeing the word ER as if in like an emergency room. So this may be like an emergency meeting or something, where something has to be um, resolved or fixed rather quickly. Um, and I feel like a little kid, sitting and on the floor like this, and I feel like the person behind would be you. So you may feel like you're not qualified to make these decisions, or to be at the table at this important time in the process. And I feel like this is like a huge fear for you to show me a cross in the ceiling. It's almost like like this is like your worst nightmare, and trust yourself, to show me the third eye. Like what's going to happen is that your inner wisdom is going to open up for you, that inner clarity is going to shine in this situation through you. And so don't be worried, because that worry will disconnect you from that. Okay? So just trust yourself. You wouldn't be where you need to be. You wouldn't be where you are if you weren't a necessary component to the grander scheme of life. Okay? So you're where you need to be for a reason. Trust that. Even if in the moment you don't understand, just go with it. As you go with it, as you keep showing up, it will your purpose will be revealed to you, but not as if you're sitting there watching it. It'll come through you. Don't wait for it to come to you, it's going to come through you. But you need to show up. You need to be in that position. You need to listen and weigh in all what's happening and make that clear decision. You have the fearless power to do that, okay? That you're there because of your creative solutions, your creative abilities, your insights to be able to come up with, you know, um, fair, fair assessments and fair judgment of the situation. All right, and so this is going to be a big learning tool for you. But you're skilled. Okay, this is another part of this card. Not only shows that you need to get skills, but it can also mean that you are very skilled, like somebody who's well read on the subject. You're. I feel like you've been read in, and so you have all the information that you need. All right, let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. All right, so this is the Five of Water, and what I'm getting a sense is about this card is that you may not, when this is all said and done, you may not see what you've done. You know, that you're going to be, allow yourself to get fixated on some things that didn't go right. I mean, everything in this situation is happening very quickly. And I know I spoke about one specific thing, but going general for everyone, you know, you could be, you know, a lot of things were happening quickly, and you did the best you can. You had the skills and the knowledge, but some things didn't, that you focused in on. Remember, because it's coming from your ego's perspective about how you performed. And whenever you come from your ego's perspective about how you perform, it's always going to find some insignificant things to other people that are only significant to you and blow it out of proportion and make it that everyone felt that way. And so, which is going to just take you out of the I want to say pleasure, for lack of a better word, of what you accomplished. Okay, um, there are these two cups standing, and it's interesting because there are only two, but they look bigger than the others, which means that although these other things have been huge to you, but these things that actually came across were bigger, made the bigger impact. Okay, so you need to somehow get yourself off of that sort of pity party thing and focus on the things that made the impact in this situation, because there was an impact. Even if you didn't see it, it was felt. And that result came about because you decided to spread your wings. You trust yourself. You used your experience and knowledge to make those quick decisions that were fair and just. And you have to be, so basically they're telling me that you have to listen, you have to, you know, trust your higher self that you did the right thing in this situation. Okay, so you know, this can be for any situation. You always have to trust that you are coming from a place of love always. Now, how many of you watching could ever say that that's not true? And I doubt that if any of you are watching this kind of video, then you know that what I'm saying is true. So you know you're always coming from a place of love, which means you leave an indelible footprint and an invaluable one everywhere you go, no matter how things turn out. So let that other stuff go, let it cross your path, toss it up, pray for clarity, let it come back to you, and keep moving on that road. Keep moving on that road, because that you are able to do that, others will learn even from that action. People, they're telling me, reminding you that people have a high respect for you that you may not even be aware of. And it's because that you bring such a force of love to the table in everything that you do. Your passion speaks volumes. Volumes. Don't focus on the complexities. I'm seeing this word of any situation. Focus on your compassion. Okay? So, oh, I forgot the card from the bottom of the deck. All right, so the Nine of Air. And this is about, I'm hearing don't lose sleep over this, okay? Don't lose sleep over this situation. Let your angels come to you, maybe in your dreams. Maybe you're having dreams that are um, working some of this out for you, and so let give it to them, and let them give it to you in your state of dreams when you are in a state of allowing rather than resistance. So meditate or take a nap. Let it, and so you can come back with a fresh perspective. Don't lose sleep over this situation, all right? Because we don't want you to be distracted from expressing yourself, from spreading your wings, as this card says. We don't want you to get this. Don't give yourself excuses to um, to not move forward. All right, so that's very important. And going back to self care, remember self care in this week. Take care of yourself. Do what's right for you. Make the choices that relieve the path. I call it the path of relief, right? So do the things that relieve your or ease your anxieties or the resistance that you're feeling vibrationally. So I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and thank you all for joining us here. Thank you for for subscribing, because I have a lot of new subscribers, for your comments, for your likes. Also, thank you for joining us at the Facebook page. If you haven't been to the Facebook page, you can go to the link below, um, and where we do the daily card messages Monday through Friday, which go into more insights and more depth of this reading. So if you've not been there yet, click on that description link below and like the page, and I think that'll loop you into receiving the cards as they come out. You can also reach us on Twitter. If you haven't, which is below as well, that link is below. If you like an angel reading, feel free to contact me at theangelschool.com. On the services page, there's the first time angel reading, promotional discount there, and there are some other types of readings as well. So my office hours are from Monday through Friday, 12 noon to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I only work in that period, and I'm able to answer and handle some things related to this. So it, I can get back to you within a couple of days, and usually appointments are like 3 to 5 days. So just be aware of that, okay? I don't have same day appointments ever. All right, thank you very much, and I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and send you peace and prosperity for this week. All right, be true to yourself and love yourself and take care of yourself. Have a good week, everybody. God bless you.